Welcome back to RMAC Outdoor Productions. Today I will be rainbow fishing using power bait and Berkley Gulp. Okay, let's get into our discussion. Power bait in the Western fishing community a lot of times is kind of a laugher. Lots of beginning anglers use power bait and like power bait because it is really highly effective. Dr. Keith Jones invented power bait from a series of scientific experiments that he did in controlled fish tanks to determine what fish like to eat the most. As he was conducting these experiments, he ruled out a few fish attractants that don't really work, such as garlic oil and anise oil. He also discovered two very important concepts related to scent and how it attracts and gets fish to bite or stay on the line longer. He determined that there was two basic types of scent. Scent that increase your strikes, and then there's scent that increases the retention time of the bait or lure. He also discovered that just because a scent gets you more strikes does not turn into more fish into the boat or into the box. Lure or bait retention time, he determined, gives you the best chance at hooking up and having that fish hit the net. Now, the reason I chose power bait today is I had somebody request that I do a power bait episode, and they thought it would be funny. Well, I happen to think power bait's a pretty awesome thing. It does have its limitations. Power bait for rainbows works best in shallow lakes or lakes of a medium depth with a high biological output. It also works slightly better in winter when most of the entomology in the lakes is dormant. One thing I learned from ice fishing rainbows in northeast Oregon is that in the wintertime when the water is cold, they roam around certain areas of the lake very slowly looking for food. They're pretty active but not super aggressive. There is also usually somewhat of a food shortage at this time of the year, so they are willing to eat whatever they think is palatable. As far as color selection and rigging goes, if it is under 30 feet of water, orange, pink, or red usually works the best. In water 25 feet or deeper or stained water, chartreuse may be better. In weedy lakes, a lot of times a brown color or olive color will work best. In these situations, you want to mold your power bait onto the hook to look somewhat like an aquatic insect. Standard rigging for power bait is a 6 or 8 inch leader, even up to 12 or 15 inch leader, off of a swivel, above the swivel, an egg sinker, and 1/4 to 1/2 ounce size. I like to fish a size 4 octopus style hook. Power bait can be fished directly on the bottom, under a float. You can even troll it on some lures. My favorite way to fish it is one crank off the bottom on anchor or using spot lock on my bow mount trolling motor. The difference between power bait and Berkley Gulp is that power bait is designed for fish to hold and retain the bait for a maximum amount of time. Berkley Gulp is designed to induce a strike and put. All of this being said, there are a few limitations. If rainbows in particular are selectively feeding on insects, bait fish, snails, it doesn't matter. If there's some sort of selective feeding going on, power bait then becomes much less effective. Bigger fish also seem to be more piscivorous or more selective. Freshly stocked rainbows or rainbows in the cold water period when there is low food availability are highly susceptible to power bait and gulp. I also do not recommend power bait for trout in a river. In today's episode, Berkley Gulp, eggs, and orange were the most effective, but only after the water from the dam turned on and dispersed the scent throughout the water. Before that happened, orange power bait molded onto the hook was by far the most effective. I was spot locked in about 15 or 16 feet of water. If you have more than 12 or 13 feet of water, rainbows in particular are usually not real boat shy. In conclusion, powerbait and Berkley Gulp are a powerful weapon in any angler's arsenal. Both products are easy for beginning anglers to use, but also effective enough that experienced anglers such as myself really appreciate both products. I'm Russ McAllister. Thanks for watching, and tight lines.